My name is Claire McEwen and I'm a textile artist, and I make large-scale textile pieces, fabric pieces, mainly using stitch and print and digital photography to build up my imagery on the surface. I was working with a secondary school as an artist in residence. At the very beginning of this project I visited the school and I brought a selection of my fabric pieces and my sketchbooks and talked through the way that I work, and to continue that link, the idea was proposed by this school to create a virtual residency using the learning platform. The idea was to have a real artist in their working space and to be able to show my work online, be able to talk about the work. The learning platform is a way of different users being online at the same time with a webcam option. It's a way of being able to share files, so I could share imagery on this platform. This laptop comes with a built-in web camera, so I can just talk into the computer and I can show you some pictures that I have on the wall here.
So we had the first meeting. We then used our resources to work with her ideas to actually create digital images that the students could then go on to experiment with in Photoshop. Now that's something the learning platform can't give us in that very direct, hands-on experience. And we never thought it would. It's purely about supporting the work.
Following on from that workshop, I met a couple of classes online to show via the webcam the areas of my space, and they could see the fabric being dyed and the sort of stitch work I'd been doing and the sporting imagery.
So I've been dyeing up some fabric with onion skins to form this sort of mottled brown colour.
And then we had a series of questions and answers.
I hadn't considered that up to that point, they didn't really know what an artist studio looked like. One of the strengths of the learning platform is that there was no time-off timetable, there was no cover costs, and layers of fabrics and things. Purely a web camera, one in Kent and one in Chalfont St Peter. It was easy.
The next online meeting, the Chalfont students uploaded maybe 6 or 7 students' work that we could look at. The students said how they created it, and I could ask some questions and give some feedback.
Yeah. I think this really stands out, this composition particularly. It's really interesting, the way you've left that area. It looks like it's made of paper, it looks really delicate.
Which was fantastic, because they've heard me telling them what I think about artwork for 2 years. This was now a practitioner coming in and saying, well look, what's good about this piece of work is this, and I don't know if you thought about this, but you could go on and do this with it. And that's really where it got quite exciting for them.
So this sort of monoprinting, inspired by the photographs, looking at the lines and the composition and the shapes that I see in the photographs.
It was a good idea to get insight from an artist because she specialises in photography, and so she could tell us more detail on how to improve our photos.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so atmospheric, this image. It really is. I feel I've got an understanding of how this person feels about Venice, you know, using the eyes in that way, and again keeping it very calm and subtle.
It gets them to think around the project, and because they're not just talking to their teacher who knows their work really well, they're talking to someone they've met a couple of times, and getting me to understand what it is that they're doing so I can help them. Being able to talk about your work is a really important part of your practice, and you can do that whether I'm there in front of them or online. My next online meeting was with a student called Lydia.
I started working in photography, so my teacher thought it would be beneficial for me to have an individual video conference with Claire on the learning platform. I started uploading my photos and then we talked about them.
I think it's really strong where you've taken away the colour, like this one. I like this one.
She told me what she liked about them and what I could do to develop my project further.
It'd be a way of using your Photoshop work if your painting is taken in reference from your developments in Photoshop.
She didn't only comment on my work, but she also told me new techniques and some new ideas. She helped me a lot.
One of the interesting elements of Lydia's one-to-one virtual experience with Claire McEwen was that I sort of left it to Lydia. I wasn't involved, but the student could still meet with the artist, and she could carry on learning without me being there. Because the other beauty about this is that Lydia could actually use that recording of that meeting with the artist as part of one of her assessment objectives, developing an idea to go into her e-portfolio. But also the fact that Claire McEwen recorded that discussion about what she does now. We have a recording of that. That is reusable.
I've tried out pre-recording practical workshops from this space and then worked out a slideshow of different steps you could take in Photoshop. The recording is saved as a website address and the school can then click on that link and watch the recording.
These images are what we're going to be working with today, and how I can fuse these 6 images together to create one image.
So it's me producing a resource that other students could use in the future. That's a big benefit.
This area here, there's some fabric construction using origami ideas.